I accidentally went viral for talking about my kid. Let's talk about it. Do you guys think that was rage baity enough for the algorithm? The going viral thing actually just gives me an excuse to talk about how important it is to see the whole picture of something. And if you're actually interested about what I talked about in the other video, I just talked about how I use my intuition to parent. And the whole going viral thing really just shows me that people love to comment without watching the whole video. That being said, let's talk about why it's important to see the full picture. Let's start with some terms that I learned from my friend Maddie, who is in grief recovery: enshrinement and bedevilment. And basically what this means is when we're grieving a person, a relationship, a thing, what can happen is that we either look at them as all good, enshrinement, or we look at them as all bad, bedevilment. And what happens is this prevents us from fully processing because we are not looking at the full picture. And the reason this is important to notice is because if you've experienced trauma from someone, a lot of times the people that we've experienced trauma from, we've also experienced good things with. And so what happens is if we're trying to look at them fully as evil and process the situation that way, what happens is we don't have space for these good things that did happen with them. And we kind of like lock it out or pretend it's not there when in reality we know it's there. And this can prevent us from fully processing because we're not allowing this part of it to be processed. What does it mean if somebody is good and bad? If you're interested in this topic, I did a little video on duality as well, and I talk more about how we balance two things existing at one time. And the short version of that is that everything lives on a spectrum. There's love and there's hate, there's dark and there's light, there's good and there's evil. So duality kind of leads to non-duality because even though they're two different things, they are one thing in the same spectrum. Okay, now with all of that groundwork laid, let's talk about why it's so important to see the full picture. Let's talk about in terms of art first. So if you're looking at an image in front of you and there is no contrast at all, you won't be able to make out the form in front of you. You won't actually be able to see what it is. Now let's apply this to relationships. If you aren't looking at the full picture, say this person makes you really happy in one area, but you're suffering in another area. If you're not looking at the full picture, you're only looking at the good things or you're only looking at the bad things, you aren't seeing the reality of the thing that's actually in front of you. And in order to make an educated and honest decision that feels good for us, we have to be real with ourselves about the thing that's actually in front of us. By allowing ourselves to experience the full spectrum of feelings that are happening in front of us, we can then make decisions based on these feelings. And one of the things I also talk about on my page is just how important it is to learn the language of our feelings, because our feelings are always revealing truth to us. So I encourage you to allow space for the full spectrum of your feelings so that your feelings can reveal to you the truth of the reality of your situation. Seeing the full picture reveals even more beauty.